is a much greater respect for the life that's here. And here we are destroying an acre of forest every second on the planet, destroying species left and right, and imperiling even ourselves. It's, I think, a useful perspective to recognize that life isn't all that easy to come by, that we have an obligation to preserve life on this planet. So there are many aspects of looking for life elsewhere that seem to be very important. Another one is our own origins. How did we, us humans, us animals, us life on Earth, how did we get here? How did we come?
What do you think? Do you think that there was the conventional concept of God, or do you think it just happened?
Well, that's not the full range of possibilities.
No, that's true. We could have come here from somewhere else.
Oh, that's also possible, but where
did we come from before that?
Absolutely. So you want to watch out for the infinite regress.
What's your personal opinion? You know, put you on the spot a little bit.
I'm a scientist, so I say I go where the evidence goes, not what I personally would like.
What is the evidence as you interpret it?
I would love to believe.
Your theory.
I would love to believe that there was a God who made us, who's looking out for us,
and loves us.
We need love. Takes care of us, and because
guides us and keeps us.
Such a mess. We're doing things so wrong. Then we would be relieved of the responsibility of taking care of ourselves.
The voice would come from up above and say,
"Don't pollute the atmosphere. Stop the chlorofluorocarbons." Right. That's right. But that does not seem to be the case.
We have to solve our own problems.
We have to solve our own problems. Now, on the question of the origin of life, there's been some very interesting progress made. On the early Earth, there are two different ways in which the stuff of life, the molecules that lead to life, are made. One, it seems very clear, it was made in the primitive atmosphere, lightning, ultraviolet light falling on the Earth, that kind of stuff. And the other way is, it fell from the skies. Because at the time of the origin of the Earth, comets, a lot of debris was being swept up. The solar system was a lot more traffic in it than there is now. And a lot of that debris, we know from the exploration of Halley's Comet, for example, comets are very rich in organic matter. So the stuff of life was falling on the Earth. Now, is that the hand of God or not? Well, if you believe in God, God established the physical laws of the universe. And chemistry is a consequence of physics, so all those molecules that led to life were made by God. It's possible to believe that. I'm not opposed to that idea, but I just say there is no evidence for it. And where there's no evidence, I say keep an open mind. Don't commit yourself in the absence of compelling evidence.
Well, I think it's, I agree with you that we're going to have to solve these problems ourselves that we have today. And in historical religions, many wonderful, fine teachings, but none of them, they're all ancient by today's standard, pre-industrial revolution. And they didn't deal with the problems that we had today, because when Christ and Muhammad and the other prophets were alive, they didn't have nuclear weapons. There was no problem with overpopulation or environmental problems, so they weren't even mentioned in the commandments and the Koran and so forth. Yep. Carl, do we have reason to be hopeful about the future, and what can we do to have a hopeful future?
Well, I think there's a broad range of things that the average person can do, especially in a democracy where, at least in principle, the people control what the government does. Government's supposed to be working for the people, not the other way around. Also on a planet where things are moving very much more towards the idea that the people are in control. The Soviet Union, fantastic changes are happening there. Not yet all the way. There's not a multi-party system. There's a lot of things that they don't have, but the amount of progress there is absolutely enormous. Those are some signs of hope. Now, we talked before about writing to members of Congress and visiting members of Congress, writing letters to newspapers, television stations when they do a program that seems right. All of that is a useful application of the citizens' democratic prerogatives and has some leverage. It doesn't have a huge amount of leverage in my personal opinion, because there are a lot of other factors. There's a concentration of control of the news media in the hands of the wealthy. The wealthy have a particular perspective.
Yeah, I haven't seen any poor people owning newspapers or television networks lately.
Well, that's a good point, and also it doesn't always happen. I mean,
besides, if they did own them, they wouldn't be poor for very long.
Yes. So that's one worry. Another worry is that that great